From rock bottom to success. My journey. Hey, can I share something really personal with you? A story about a time when I felt completely lost. When it seemed like my whole world was crumbling and there was no way to fix it. That moment, my rock bottom, changed everything. It forced me to face myself in ways I never thought I would. And it gave me a chance to rebuild my life, step by step, day by day. Maybe you're in a place like that right now. Maybe you feel overwhelmed, stuck, or unsure if you'll ever make it through. I want you to know you're not alone. Everyone hits a low point at some time, even the people you think have it all figured out. The good news is, hitting rock bottom is not the end. It's often the beginning of the most important chapter of your life. It's a chance to start fresh, learn new lessons, and rise stronger than ever. So grab a cup of coffee and let me tell you my story. The highs, the lows, the lessons learned, and the habits I developed that helped me move from rock bottom to success. The moment everything fell apart. Looking back, the signs were there, but I ignored them. Maybe you've been there too, when little problems pile up and start to feel overwhelming, but you convince yourself you can handle it. For me, it began with small struggles at work. I missed deadlines, made mistakes, and felt like I was losing grip on my responsibilities. Then came the unexpected news. The company was downsizing, and I was out of a job. Suddenly, my steady paycheck disappeared. Savings that I thought were enough vanished faster than I imagined. Bills started piling up, and anxiety took over my nights. At the same time, some of my closest relationships began to feel fragile. Friends I thought would always be there drifted away. Family support was distant. I felt incredibly isolated. Each morning, getting out of bed was a battle. I'd stare at the ceiling, overwhelmed by fear, shame, and uncertainty. Thoughts raced in my head. How did I end up here? What am I going to do now? Rock bottom isn't just a place of failure. It's a place of deep loneliness and self-doubt. For weeks, I was trapped in that dark space, unsure if I had the strength to pull myself out. Facing reality, the hardest step. After a while, something inside me shifted. I realized that pretending everything was okay wasn't helping. I had to face the truth head-on, no matter how painful. So I took out a notebook and started writing down everything I was feeling. My fears, my regrets, my hopes. It was messy and raw, but it was honest. I stopped blaming others or circumstances. Instead, I took full responsibility for where I was. That was scary, but it was also freeing. When you're at rock bottom, the only way out is through. And that means brutal honesty with yourself, building a new foundation, one small step at a time. I couldn't fix everything overnight. That much was clear. So I made a promise to myself to focus on small, manageable actions every day. I started waking up at the same time every morning. I drank a glass of water and took a short walk outside. That tiny routine helped me feel more grounded. Next, I committed to applying for one job each day, no matter how small the opportunity seemed. Some days I updated my resume. Other days, I researched new skills online. Every small win, no matter how insignificant it seemed, helped rebuild my confidence. They added up, quietly but powerfully. Lucraries. The importance of support. You don't have to do it alone. One of the hardest lessons was learning to ask for help. I'd always thought I had to do everything on my own, but isolation only made things worse. I reached out to friends I trusted and joined online communities related to my career. Talking to others who had been through similar struggles reminded me that I wasn't alone. Support doesn't mean someone will fix your problems. It means you have people who understand and encourage you along the way. Success. Redefining success. What it really means. At first, I thought success meant landing the perfect job or making a lot of money. But as I healed and grew, my definition changed. Success became about finding peace in my daily life, growing emotionally stronger, and being proud of who I was becoming. It wasn't about perfection. It was about progress, resilience, and self-love. Embracing failure, the unexpected teacher. One thing that hit me hard during this journey was how much I used to fear failure. Before rock bottom, failure felt like the end of the road, a sign that I wasn't good enough or wasn't meant to succeed. But hitting that low point changed my perspective entirely. Failure became my greatest teacher. Every mistake, every no, every setback was a chance to learn something valuable. I started asking myself questions like, what can this teach me? How can I do better next time? What did I overlook? This mindset shift wasn't easy. It took a lot of patience and self-compassion, but it made me resilient. Instead of fearing failure, I started to expect it as part of the process, and that made me braver. Failures stopped defining me. Instead, they became stepping stones, guiding me forward. Developing new habits. The game changers. Along the way, I realized that if I wanted a different life, I needed different habits. So I carefully built routines that supported my goals and well-being. Here are a few that made the biggest difference. Here's 1. Daily reflection. Every evening, I spent 5 minutes journaling about what went well, what didn't, and how I felt. This simple habit boosted my self-awareness and helped me catch negative patterns early. 2. Consistency over perfection. I stopped aiming for flawless days. Instead, I focused on showing up daily, even if progress was small. That mindset kept me moving forward, even when motivation dipped. 3. Saying no without guilt. At first, I said yes to everything. Old habits die hard. But learning to say no protected my energy and kept me focused on what mattered most. 4. Starting small, big goals are intimidating. I learned to break them into tiny, manageable steps. This made progress feel possible and less overwhelming. 5. Seeking support. I kept reaching out for guidance, feedback, and encouragement. No one succeeds completely alone. 3. Celebrating progress, even the small wins. One thing I struggled with early on was appreciating the small victories. When you're rebuilding from rock bottom, it's easy to focus only on how far you still have to go. But I learned that celebrating tiny wins, like sending that job application, finishing a book chapter, or even just making it through a tough day, was crucial. Those moments kept me motivated and reminded me I was capable of change. The power of mindset. Changing the story. I told myself, at rock bottom, I was stuck in a negative story. I'm a failure, I'll never get out. This is who I am. Changing that story took time. I started replacing those thoughts with kinder, more realistic ones. I'm learning. I'm making progress. This doesn't define me. This simple shift gave me hope and energy. It helped me see challenges as temporary, not permanent. How success feels. Now success today looks very different than it did before my fall. It's not about the size of my paycheck or the title on my business card. It's about waking up with purpose, feeling proud of my efforts, and having energy to enjoy life outside of work. I'm more patient with myself and more open to growth. And most importantly, I've built a foundation that can carry me through future ups and downs. Your journey is unique, but you can rise too. If you're reading this and feeling stuck or at rock bottom yourself, here's what I want you to remember. You're not alone. Many have walked this path and come out stronger. It's okay to feel lost, scared, or overwhelmed. Those feelings are part of the process. Start with small steps. Tiny actions build momentum. Seek support. It makes a difference. Change your story. You're more than your setbacks. Rock bottom is not your end. It's your opportunity to rise, rebuild, and rewrite your story on your own terms. The role of routine. Finding stability in chaos. When everything felt uncertain and out of control, one of the first things I realized I needed was stability. Not the kind that magically solves problems, but the kind that grounds you, even when life is messy. Building a routine was my anchor. It wasn't complicated, just a few simple, consistent actions that gave my day structure. Mornings started with a glass of water, a quick stretch, and 5 minutes of breathing deeply. That small pause helped me shake off the fog of anxiety. Evenings included my daily reflection, writing about what happened, how I felt, and what I wanted to do better tomorrow. At first, sticking to these routines was a challenge. There were days I slipped, days I felt like quitting. But over time, they became habits, little rituals that gave me a sense of control and calm. Routine didn't erase the hard parts of life, but it gave me a steady place to return to, like a safe harbor in a storm. The importance of mindfulness, living in the present. Another lesson that transformed my journey was learning to be present. When you're at rock bottom, it's easy to get lost in worries about the past or fears about the future. I was constantly replaying mistakes and fearing what might come next. Mindfulness helped me break that cycle. I started practicing simple mindfulness exercises, focusing on my breath, noticing sounds around me, paying attention to how my body felt. It wasn't about escaping my problems, but about grounding myself so I could face them more clearly. Being present helped reduce my anxiety and gave me space to make better decisions. Learning to prioritize what truly matters. At my lowest, I was trying to do everything and please everyone. It was exhausting. One powerful shift was learning to prioritize, not just tasks, but relationships, energy, and time. I asked myself tough questions. What really moves me forward? What drains me? Who lifts me up? And who holds me back? Saying no to distractions and toxic relationships was hard, but necessary. Focusing on what truly mattered gave me more energy and clarity. It made my efforts more effective and less overwhelming. The role of self-compassion. Being kind to myself. If I had one regret, it was how harsh I was on myself during the darkest times. I thought pushing harder and feeling guilty would make me fix things faster. Instead, it crushed my spirit. Learning self-compassion, treating myself with the same kindness I'd offer a friend, changed everything. When I stumbled or failed, I stopped the negative self-talk. I reminded myself that growth is messy and mistakes are normal. Self-compassion didn't mean I gave up. It meant I kept going, fueled by encouragement, not shame. Finding purpose, the true meaning of success. For a long time, I chased goals because I thought that's what success looked like. Titles, money, recognition. But as I grew, I realized success is deeper. It's about finding purpose, something that makes you excited to get up in the morning. For me, purpose became helping others through sharing my story, supporting those struggling, and building a life aligned with my values. It's not about never breaking. It's about how quickly you get back up. I practiced resilience by learning from setbacks, staying flexible, and believing in my ability to overcome. It's a skill anyone can develop, and it grows stronger each time you face challenges. What I wish I knew before hitting rock bottom. If I could go back, here's what I'd tell myself. You are stronger than you think. It's okay to ask for help. Progress is rarely perfect. Take care of your mind and body equally. Success is a journey, not a destination. Embracing change, the only constant one. Thing I learned is that change is the only constant in life. At first, change felt terrifying. Every step forward brought new challenges and uncertainties. But over time, I began to welcome change as a sign of growth. Instead of resisting, I asked myself, what can I learn from this? How can this make me stronger? That mindset helped me adapt faster and move forward with confidence, even when the road was unclear. Setting boundaries, protecting your energy. One of the biggest game changers was learning to set boundaries. Before rock bottom, I'd say yes to every request, often at the cost of my own well-being. I thought it was selfish to say no. Now, I understand that setting boundaries is an act of self-respect. It protects your time and energy for what really matters. It's okay to say no without guilt. In fact, it's necessary for long-term success. The role of consistency. Small steps add up. Success doesn't come from grand gestures. It comes from small, consistent actions. Even on days when I felt like giving up, I committed to showing up, even if just a little. Consistency built momentum, making hard days easier to face. Over months and years, those small steps transformed my life. Celebrating your story. Every step counts. Looking back, every struggle, every setback, every tiny win was part of my unique story. No one else's path looks the same, and that's okay. Your story is yours to write. Celebrate every step because it's moving you closer to the life you want. You can rise. 2. If you're at rock bottom or feeling stuck, remember, you can rise. It won't be easy. It won't be fast. But with patience, self-compassion, and persistence, you can rebuild. Start small. Keep moving. Celebrate progress. You are stronger than you know. If this journey inspired you, and you want more real, honest talks about overcoming challenges and finding success, hit that subscribe button or follow me. Let's keep growing together, one step at a time.